Three, two, one. Hello, all. Welcome to the Planet Crate podcast. My name is Nick Fly,
And I'm Hermit.
and soon, sometime later, maybe we'll have a duality be dropping in. This is our podcast about Claret Vanguard, anime, and gaming. Today, mostly, we'll be talking about Claret Sword Dragon. It's raining, it's pouring, and it's garbage, but somebody still wants to build it. Hermit, take it away.
I mean, where to even begin? Well, I guess we can start by saying you don't have to use Claret Sword with all the new support cards that came out with it. Because, in my opinion, I think cards like the Espada Dragon. So, Espada Dragon's effect is... Not Espada, sorry, Dark Pride. Espada is the Searcher. So Dark Pride Dragon's effect is it gets if a grade 1 was put into the drop zone via your mill, you can counterblast one to draw a card. So essentially you're potentially milling 3 cards with a random chance of counterblasting one to draw a card. But Claret Sword Dragon also has a mill grade 1s from deck effect. So I think between Dark Pride and Claret Sword, if you mill using Dark Pride's effect, well, no. Okay, let me back up. Claret Sword's effect is on place. So if you ride him, his effect goes off first, and then you play Dark Pride. Either way, let's say Claret Sword mills the grade 1s, and he gets all his power, but then that lessens the probability of Dark Pride's effect being able to go off, if that makes sense. Because you have to hit grade 1s.
Yeah, of course.
Dark Pride doesn't hurt Claret Sword first, because Claret Sword rides first, and then you call it Dark Pride.
Gotcha.
But you only have so many grade 1s you can mill. So, like, let's say you Claret Sword and Dark Pride mill a bunch of grade 1s this turn, you lessen the amount of grade 1s you potentially could mill next turn if you could ride successfully next turn. So I'm thinking, off the top of my head, Claret Sword feels weak because it's an inferior Grand Blue. Grand Blue you can get effects off as long as you mill, no matter what you mill. Whereas Claret Sword and Dark Pride, you have to mill grade 1s. And then there are other cards, like Morian Spear Dragon, that requires you to discard grade 1s to activate their effects. You could potentially draw another grade 1, maybe you'll draw grade 2. The point is, you're dropping a 10k guard for potentially lower guard, or maybe higher guard. This deck is, in my opinion, super inconsistent because there's too much RNG involved. But, I love restanding, so...
So, there is a crazy build that I think will work best for people who really just, are restanding Dragon Lord lovers. Like Hermit here. But isn't there like a better build where you would use, I guess, technically, use Claret Sword as a finisher?
I mean...
With the OG deck, the Phantom Blaster?
You mean mix Claret Sword into like a Phantom Blaster or Gust Blaster?
Yeah, as a 2 of or 3 of, because you're only going to get it off once or twice anyway. Hold it till late game, pop it, re-ride.
I mean,
that's
definitely something, but I don't think it's that good either because,
I mean, with Phantom Blaster Dragon, the counterblast will retire 3 regards, and your opponent just retire 3 his regards. If you retire your back row of grade 1s, that's 3 grade 1s that you get to retire. After you use that skill.
I mean, I get that. The thing with Phantom Blaster and Gust Blaster is that they require a field. Like you use Nemain to use a search to pay the cost of Phantom Blaster, and Gust Blaster retires 2 of your rear guards. And Gust Blaster himself is a finisher. He doesn't function without grade 3 in Soul. Phantom Blaster can work as a starter or a finisher. So I think if you were going to run Claret Sword as a finisher, you would run Phantom Blaster first. The problem is, again, if you're running Phantom Blaster, you want to run the main and possibly Blackwing Swordbreaker so that you can pull the grade ones from your deck. The problem is that runs counter to what Claret Sword does, because again, Claret Sword is on place and you want to mill grade ones. But if all your grade ones are already superior called from deck, you're never going to get the power off.
Gotcha.
I don't think you ever want to main in a Claret Sword deck.
I feel you. So, what about cheese build? Just a bunch of grade ones so you can maximize that opportunity of restanding.
I think that's how most Claret Sword people are going to build Claret Sword. I think they're only going to run Claret Sword as their grade 3, so only 4 grade 3s. Cherishing Knight Branwyn helps search for a grade 3 top 5, and Blue Espada Dragon helps search for Claret Sword as well. So unlike, I guess, most standard decks, you have like, well, besides Mega Colony, like this build has multiple searching for grade 3s.
Gotcha.
Like you don't even have that in Gear Chronicle. Gear Chronicle is if you don't hit Lost Legend, good luck, G-Assist or something. But in this, if you build Claret Sword with only 4 grade 3s, theoretically you would run as much Branwyn as possible and Blue Espada Dragons so that you can keep searching your deck until you get the Claret Sword.
Got it. That sounds interesting.
Overall, I think this was a nice differentiation from, you know, the Mordred Blaster Dark build. And I guess it could still be fun to play, just don't expect to win a lot.
Gotcha. So definitely not meta pick. So I guess before we go into like deck builds, because I believe everyone's favorite Restand Dragon Lover, Hermit, has a build. Do we talk about the proper build, the double R G3? Does it help with that consistency?
A lot of people are still theory crafting Claret Sword build because not all the Shadow Paladin support for the new set has been revealed yet. So maybe the last triple R grade 3 in the set, maybe he'll do something that adjusts everyone's build. We can't, you know, guess. Like a whole bunch of people are hoping, oh, maybe we'll transform other grades into grade 1s from drop zone, or maybe we'll, you know, pull from the bind zone back into the drop zone so that, you know, you can keep restanding. But I'm not holding my breath.
I feel you.
And if I'm going off the comments in the wiki, a bunch of other people are just like, yeah, the way to build Claret Sword right now is just run Claret Sword. Okay, the grade 1s are Cherishing Knight Branwyn. You need 4 of her. She helps search a grade 3.
Gotcha.
You also need Blue Espada Dragon. He also kind of helps searches. He helps search Claret Sword specifically, and he also helps search Morian Spear Dragon.
Got it.
Now, at this point, since we don't know the rest of all the Shadow Paladin cards, I think I would run Blackwing Swordbreaker, so that if you call her from hand, you would counterblast 1, draw a card, and I would run 4 of her. And last, I would run 3 Nightmare Painters.
Yeah.
Nightmare Painter is interesting. I don't know if it's a he or she, but Nightmare Painters are the old set, and when placed, you can soul charge a grade 1 or less from your drop zone. So, you know, I wouldn't soul charge a grade 1 because you need grade 1s in drop zone. I would soul charge grade 0s because my build does its fair share of counterblasting and soul blasting. And most, you know, Shadow Paladins don't soul charge. So we have my grade 2 lineup now. Oh, but by the way, I'm running 3 Nightmare Painters. So that's my 15 grade 1s. My grade 2 lineup is I'm running 14 of. I'm running Morian Spear Dragon, 4 Morian Spear Dragons.
Gotcha, yeah.
Morian Spear Dragons cost is a Soul Blast. Thus why I'm running Nightmare Painter. Then I'm running 4 Dark Pride Dragons. I'm also running 3 Witch of Iron Nesses. So Witch of Iron Nest is a Soul Blast 1, and again, Soul Blasting, so Nightmare Painter helps with the Soul Charge. Soul Blast 1 and retire one of your other grade 1 rear guards, and she gets the ability to prevent intercepts, I believe, and plus no power. So it's just I retire one your opponent chooses one rear guard to retire, and can't intercept. So I guess that's okay. I just don't know what to run over her for now. And then last, I'd run 3 Curse Lancers. Curse Lancers is also, Soul Blast, but he's also my countercharger. So Nightmare Panther and Curse Lancers are my resource recyclers. And last but not least, my grade 3 lineup would just be Claret Sword Dragon 4 of.
Gotcha. So, how many more Shadow Paladins cards have yet to come out?
Well, I think we know all of them except for a double rare grade 3.
Oh, gross. Okay.
I'm just going off the wiki, and it's mostly filled in. We know Promising Knight David is our starter, and Promising Knight David from the original was really cool because if he was retired by an effect, he could be counted as 2 rear guards being retired. So if he was in standard with his normal effect, he could count himself as 2 costs for a Phantom Blaster Dragon effect. So you just retire him and 1. Gotcha. But now he's just a starter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the reveals for the next set are like 95% complete. There's really nothing else to reveal except for maybe a couple of double R's and commons. So what you see in there is basically what you're getting.
Gotcha. So the only hope is for this double rare grade 3 to give us anything to make Claret Sword more consistent. If not,
consistency is definitely an issue. How to make him consistent, even with the double R grade 3, I don't know.
In 2 months, having another set of Shadow Paladins, like you did with Genesis, even though Genesis is already good. But hey, protagonist.
Yeah, protagonist clans or antagonist clans.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's a good stop.
Good stopper, yeah. So,
Claret Sword Dragon.
Let's move on to new episode.
Yeah, the most recent episode that came out today. In Japan,
it came out last week.
It came out last week. We didn't get it this week, so I wonder if Japan is still 1 episode ahead. Like, what if they were on episode 21 while we're on 20? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially in the simulcast. Like, that'd be fine like 5 years, 10 years ago, where like you have to wait months or months for like an episode to come out sub, or weeks for it to come out sub. But like now, like it comes out the same day or just doesn't.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
So if anyone in the comment section knows, I guess if anyone knows about what's going on in Japan, like are they an episode ahead of us, or did Japan like just do a rerun or something? But yeah, this most recent episode, I thought was really good. What I think the Shinemon doing really well is, they're doing setup. If you are a longtime fan of Vanguard, like you see where this is going.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of points I want to hit in this episode, because we know that in the old series, Chrono's mom basically died shortly after giving birth to him. That's what the wiki says. That's basically how the episode went. We don't know if she died in the hospital after giving birth, or we don't know if she died she came home and died a little bit afterwards. But we saw in the new V series, she at least got to see her husband on TV with a baby Chrono. And he had a head full of hair. Like, he was not a newborn.
Cute baby Chrono. We got more baby Chrono. Well, now this is toddler Chrono.
Yeah. So I'm thinking,
which is, yeah.
This episode says that, Rive has been working for Ryuzu for a while now.
Yeah.
But his wife was alive back when, in the flashbacks when it showed him, I have to go to work. His wife was still alive at that point. So is he working for Ryuzu before his wife even died, and then after his wife died? We don't even know if she's dead. They just didn't show her. But if we're going based off the old series, she might be dead already. Mm-hmm. Maybe she died differently now. Maybe instead of dying in childbirth, maybe she died in that meteor strike.
Well, he would still have been a baby when she died. So there's Like, there's definitely some changes, but I think some of it ties in. As someone who's newer to, like, the world of Vanguard.
So speaking of changes, hold on to that word. I like that word changes. Like we know the V series has changed a couple of things. So I like the word changes and I want to get back to that. But let's keep going into the episode. Gear Chronicle was used in an official like finals tournament in Japan. So unlike the old series, like where no one knew about Gear Chronicle, we now have Rive using Gear Chronicle on live TV, like in a really big event, like the top 4 Japan national. So Gear Chronicle is established now. Maybe even if it's not open to the public, it's established. So that's a big change as well.
So maybe that's why at the beginning of G, which is pretty much all I've seen, was the first season of G so far. Maybe that's why everyone is so like, wow, you have this deck. I've never heard of it. All of the young people have never heard of it. The older people are like, wait, that deck still exists? I thought it was a fairy tale.
I don't remember the
well, maybe not very few, but like a lot of the young kids, like, what is that deck? And some of the older people, like the pink hair crybaby, Kanzaki, definitely he like knew what it was in G, and he's like,
really? I don't remember that. By the way, isn't his hair like more lavender than anything?
We go on purple.
Purple, lavender, pink. Off topic. Back to the episode. So I found it hilarious that Rive using Gear Chronicle lost to Ryuga. And obviously Ryuga was not happy with the win. And in beating Rive, his only like lifelong goal at this point, like after beating him, he's lost all direction in life. He like left the tournament. He doesn't care about going to Worlds. Like, so I think
I feel for Rive.
Again, if this is following the original storyline, what if at this point, this is where Ryuga, who's lost his purpose in life, accidentally finds, Diff Riding and Geese. Geese being the dragon deity of destruction, Messiah's opposite.
Gotcha.
So maybe that pushes him to Geese. Don't know.
So you're saying Geese is coming out?
Geese will be out maybe way later. We're not gonna talk about that right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Another thing I want to bring up is when the new set was revealed, and it showed the new set after Claret Sword Dragon. It showed Shinemon with his new Uranus on the cover, but also showed Tatsuya. Normally, they don't show side characters on the booster sets. So since the new booster set was revealed, I always expected Tatsuya to be an antagonist, and I think this episode cinches it. Tatsuya works for Ryuzu. He was at the funeral of the meteor crash.
No, their meeting was not happy. It was like, hey, long time no see, friend.
Obviously the opening and the ending songs are obviously spoilers, and he looks depressed, evil in those.
Yeah. I love evil Tatsuya. I'm here for evil Tatsuya.
Yeah, I think Tatsuya is 100% an antagonist now. Maybe the power of friendship will bring him back. I don't think so.
I think Aichi is the power of friendship guy. We're just gonna let him have that one a little bit. Let that be that over there.
Aichi feels really one-dimensional for me, but that's a topic for another day. So we have
that's pretty much all he is. Yeah.
So potentially we have Chrono's mom maybe died in the meteor strike. Maybe Tatsuya's family died in the meteor strike. Well, not maybe, they did because he's at the funeral. The meteor strike is 100% new from the old series. And that's all the points I want to hit on the new episode. Gear Chronicle being an established clan early. Chrono's mom may or may not be dead. We know Rive was working for Ryuzu even when she was alive. And Tatsuya being an antagonist and Ryuga losing all direction in his life. So back to the word changes. Sorry if I'm taking over.
No. Have your moment, bro. Get it.
So from the very get-go of the new Shinemon episode, they've always been talking about rewriting the image, rewrite the imagination.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That means change.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
What if this rewriting the image with Shinemon getting more focus, what if this is set up so that when Ryuzu comes back in Chrono's eventual, because we're all under the assumption Chrono's going to come to V series as well. We see Chrono Jet Dragon's a thing. I don't have really anything to say about Chrono Jet Dragon. He was revealed. Yay, people love Chrono Jet Dragon.
No info. We have no info about
Yeah.
Chrono Jet Dragon. It was literally a picture.
Yeah,
And
literally a picture, and it got butt kicked.
Yeah, and Vanguard Insider made a 10-minute video on it, just like W/Slasher said he would.
Yeah. So maybe Chrono Jet Dragon will be in a trial deck. Maybe he'll be in the set after Uranus and Arc Aider and Chrono Tiger. I'm more excited for Chrono Fang Tiger and Chrono Tiger Rebellion than I am for Chrono Jet. But that's besides the point.
Chrono Fang Tiger might actually just be a trial deck. And Chrono Jet Dragon.
No. Chrono Fang Tiger is 100% in the new set after Claret Sword.
So why tease Chrono Jet Dragon when everyone knows this, when there's like more hype for him?
Because
there's more hype for him.
If they release Chrono Jet Dragon as a child deck grade 3 boss, then they can re-release him in a new set after that as an upgraded boss, kind of like how you see Uranus now. Uranus Uranus was a child deck boss. Now Uranus might be getting a new grade 3 form.
I think he's going to be a grade 4 form, but okay.
It would be cool if Uranus was a grade 4 as well, but it'd be hard to balance.
True.
Between Uranus a grade 4 and then Valkyria on a grade 5. It'd be hard to balance. Anyway, so back on topic. We kind of derailed. The way I see it is the rewriting of the image might bring change to the story, so that rather than just being a Chrono, as the protagonist, it might be a shared collection between Chrono and Shin and his group. And let me establish why I think so. In the original series, Rive dies. So Mikuru is Chrono's only family left. Dies, quotations, air quotations. Yeah. Okay, air quotations. He doesn't really die.
Yep.
Rive, quote unquote, Mikuru is Chrono's only family, and when Rive is gone, Mikuru's only like 15, so Chrono's set to an orphanage. Mikuru at this point, and by the time she can open her own business, she adopts Chrono, and she doesn't want Chrono to do anything with Vanguard, which is weird from how Mikuru is now. How we're seeing her, she's super involved in the group.
Not really involved in Vanguard.
Yeah. So, and that's what happened in the old series. And, also, if you look at Shinemon's arc now in the V series, like, Misaki as a kid, like, adores him. But as a teenager, she kind of is annoyed and critical of him.
Yeah.
What changes, right? So, what I'm saying is, like, if the V series isn't just, I almost feel like this topic is pointless because the V series is its own new series. It's not a redo of the old series, because the old series had Link Joker with Locke and Star Vaders. But this new series didn't have Star Vaders. They had Brant.
But I think it's not pointless completely. I think you have a great point here. I think you're digging deep into like what's in the mind of Bushiroad and Vanguard and anything around Vanguard anime and the card game, because they are tied together heavily. I think if the way from I've looked back into how they kind of sprang out V on y'all, which from my experience, I now see why a lot of people quit Vanguard. Like, it does seem like they just kind of threw that on y'all out of nowhere. It's like there's a new set of something coming, and then next thing you know, it's an entire new series, and everything you put money into in the last few years is now useless. Instead of just saying, okay, this is the standard set, and this is this set, and this is not allowed in standard. Like, say, no G stuff is allowed in standard, but the cards still are, except for the great.
At least for now. Like, we don't know if G unit's coming back by the time Chrono is introduced into V, under the assumption that Chrono is introduced into V.
I'm gonna say, God, please don't. I would love. I think what's gonna happen is, since they did such a hard reset, which I think what they decided to do is change the engine, because Stride, y'all still Stride all the time. You may not, but it's Stride.
Yeah, Stride, quote unquote, still exists with Lost Legend. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, Legion was something that y'all never want to talk about again, and I completely understand it. There's definitely a reason why that entire season of that entire season of Vanguard is not on the Vanguard website in a playlist that is watchable, and it's very hard to find to watch, especially dub.
I'm pretty sure I can help you.
I mean,
But where was I going?
But it's not easy. Look, you were going to what if they're changing what we know as the history of Vanguard now, and you're saying it's pointless. I'm telling you, it's not entirely pointless because they did a hard reset, and they did a redo on the OG Aichi arc, and then they gave us something new, which is this. This could be setting up what would be, instead of maybe a redo of the Chronos arc, instead a continuation of Chrono, but with the new rule set. Like, imagine adult Chrono with Shin continuing on that series.
There, I like that idea.
New adventure. Change.
So, because of how Shin's arc is being written, like we have Shin, Mark, Rive, Mikuru, even Nanami and Tonori, like they have a very established group. And no offense, but I'm way more invested in this group than I was in Aichi's group. No offense.
No. I'm still very much invested in the life of baby Misaki and grown-up Misaki, which is
and that's what I'm saying. I like what you said there, but it like, because of how they're establishing. What if, because in the old series, Chrono's like senpai, the person he looked up to was Ibuki-ish and Kamui. Like Kamui was his old series senpai. Yeah. But what if because we're establishing Shin and his group so heavily, what if by the time Chrono's a protagonist, Chrono had partners up with Shin? Because if I were an adult, and no offense to most stories, but I get sick and tired of always the teenager saving the world. Let the adults get him. Yeah. So what if this V series Shin is setting up so that he couldn't finish what Rive started with Ryuzu, and they have to go like on hold. And when Chrono comes back into the picture, suddenly Shin's like, "Huh, I remember that happening. I was involved. I want to get back into it." Yeah. Like that would help, like, tell a narrative so much better because of
it furthers the narrative of the entire arc of Claret Vanguard as opposed to just starting over and then giving you a prequel.
Look, we're establishing that if the openings and ending are not complete bullshit, then Mikuru is aware of Chrono's existence. Not Mikuru, Misaki. Like, little girl Misaki knows Chrono exists. Right?
Which means she knew Chrono existed when she met him the first time.
So I'm just Shin, Misaki, Mikuru, Mark, and Rive all have established connections to Chrono more than, let's say, Kamui from the old series. Yeah. To me, it would feel so much better storytelling that by the time Chrono becomes a protagonist, Shin and his group are like the team B. Yeah.
So, question for those of us who are newer to Claret Vanguard, like me, looking at that first year anniversary, who have watched all of the old Aichi arc except for Legion, because hard to watch, hard to find. And also, actually, it's not that hard to find. I think I know where I can find it now. I found it. I just haven't watched it yet because it was suggested that I skip to G, and I've seen like the first season of G, about to start into the second season of G. Do they actually address the fact that Misaki and Shin know Chrono when he was a child?
They never really established that in the old series. So that was always weird to me, because apparently Mikuru was, friends with Shin, and in the old series they kind of hand-waved it as, oh, ever since Rive died, she hated Vanguard. So maybe in the old series, after Rive died, cut off all connection. But the way V series is set up, that wouldn't make any sense. So even if she does end up hating Vanguard, that wouldn't necessarily mean she hates, Shin. And we see in the episode Shin picking up Chrono.
But that would definitely set up a stand for why Misaki was so against getting into Vanguard in the first place. When he pitched it to her. Like she wasn't when they said, "Hey, let's play." He was like, "Go play," and she was like, "No, thank you," because she remembers everything. Maybe that's why she was so cold.
Maybe. Maybe Shin in the series will make some decisions that she wouldn't be proud of him for making. And I would love to see why current Misaki in the V series is all like that now. Maybe it's just teenage rebellion phase. I don't know.
Because she seems to like him more in G, but she still doesn't respect him as much.
Yeah, like for some reason, like she adores and worships him now, but she doesn't do so when she grows up. Something might have happened.
Yeah, something had to happen. Something had to change.
Yeah, I'm thinking all of us need to like strap in our seatbelts for the feels train. That's gonna be the next few V series episodes because in remembering the old series, things are about to get really serious. Like, they're all happy-go-lucky talking now. Oh, if we win this tournament, we'll be going on to like the world premiere tour or whatever. But again, if we follow the old series, and I don't want to spoil you, so I'm gonna drop it there. Huh,
no. Oh. I mean, yeah, okay. I think it's a good idea to drop it there in case other people who are newer to the season, to the game, and to the anime, like myself, won't want to be spoiled, especially if they decide to go back into the vault like I have. And anyone who's already watched it knows exactly what you're talking about, so you don't need to, and you're not being that cryptic if you know the subject. And I think that's a good place to
I guess that's fair. So maybe like spoiler warning now then. This is your official spoiler warning. I'm going to talk about some stuff. Well, okay, I don't get this really big of a spoiler if I'm already saying that Rive quote unquote dies.
Yeah.
Okay, so after Rive dies, Team Nippon disbands. So they don't continue the tournament. They don't go on to, the world tour. I think that after Rive dies, the way this series is going to go is it's going to be more involved in finding out what's been going on with Ryuzu and him.
And their friend, Tatsuya.
Yeah, so
I think they're more interested in that and why Mark and him are working for him. Why haven't they realized who he was yet?
By the way, Mark carried the fights. Like, Mark 2-0'd the force. Not 2-0'd. He 2-0'd the team for them to move on. That was nice of you, Mark. Go protect clans. They definitely help.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to Atama! Sorry. If only OTT was ever that good again.
Yeah, they had their time in the top.
I hate when people say that. I really hate when people say that. They had their time in the sun. That doesn't mean they get to suck for like the rest of the season of the of this series of Carpet Vanguard. Like, it really irks me when y'all say that.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll drop it then.
I actually looked into it and looked at some of the stats. They had a good 6 months of being good, not broken, not like it wasn't like Bermuda's. It wasn't like Murakamo or what Bermuda's is about to be for the next 3 months. Hopefully 3. Hopefully Bermuda Bushiro gets their cash, and then after a couple months of it being out in English, they listen to the OGC and they listen to Japan, they listen to us, and they just ban him to that boy as quickly as possibly can. I don't want them to hurt their financial streams, especially in the West, because I believe I read somewhere that before they started V, they were looking at getting out of the Western market, which would have sucked for everyone involved over here.
Interesting.
But from what I looked at, there were 6 months of OTT being good, and then 6 months of OTT being relevant. Kind of like Shadows, except for instead of being constantly relevant or good, they were just relevant or good for a year until Bermuda's came out. And even before then, they had almost completely fallen out of meta graces. They were just B tier. And ever since then, they've been B, C. Now they're probably D tier.
I mean, I think Protect in general is just disadvantaged in the triangle of power.
We don't have, like, ever since they started printing out cards, more and more cards that pretty much just say, no, you can only use normal triggers, or you can only normal units, or you can't use Sentinels. Like they have been banhammering and nerfing Protect, even though the only deck that's really been good in Protect were either the OTT or for Small Bit Angels, and that's it. Dark Regulars have been really great. Mega Collies have been really great. There's only 6% clans to begin with, and now both of our gifts pretty much just blow chunks. Gift 2, the second gift would be good if it was like the plus 10k defense on intercept. It would be good if it was 15k.
I'm gonna
and
stop
if
you
it
right
had
there.
gate boost. Yeah.
I think that'd be a good topic for next podcast. How we think we could try and theory craft balance the gift system.
Yes.
Because obviously the gift system heavily favors the Excel meta right now, I think.
It's about time to wrap up. And before we do, I definitely want to. I don't really want to talk about Bermudas at all ever in life.
Yeah, Bermuda is not even a gift thing. It's just a they can do.
I don't want to. We're not even going to go down that road. I don't think.
To this episode, do we have a closing yet?
This is the closing.
This is the closing.
Closing ain't coming.
Bye.
Peace.